Very good morning, children. Welcome back to part 3 video of chapter 1 or class 11 physics. So in chapter 1 we are learning the mathematical tools in physics. So I'm going to teach you the next mathematical tool here, integration. So we learned about a little bit of trigonometry. We learned about logarithm exponential function, and we learned about differentiation, how to differentiate a function. And now we're going to find out how to integrate a function. What do you mean by integration? So integration is just the opposite process, that's what I should say, anti-derivative. An anti-derivative or opposite process of differentiation. So differentiation में हम क्या करते हैं कि we get a large part and we're going to divide the part and divide the part and divide the part, and we're getting a very small one, delta y by delta x, मतलब dy by dx. That's the ratio we are getting. Slope of a graph you can say, or whatever. And in integration what you're getting is you are adding all those small fragments, and you're getting the total of that fragments, and that is actually integration. You're joining something, and there are several mathematical application, and if you have a very small element, you can integrate to get the entire value of the element. For example, if I say, if I have a graph like this, which is represented maybe by x cube plus 4x square or whatever the function is, and then if you make so many small rectangles, and you can make very infinitely small thickness rectangles of thickness dx, and thickness dx means this is dx, and then you can add all these rectangles area to find the area under this curve up to here. Suppose this x is 0 and this is x is 1 2 3 4, whatever it is. So x is 1 to 4, and if it is a clear cut rectangle, then you don't need to cut it into fragments at all, because you can simply go for length into breadth. But here you have to cut into fragments because there are different lengths of rectangles, and very small rectangles with the breadth dx and the length is y. Y means f of x. So f of x into dx. So that's what actually integration is, f of x into dx. So f of x into dx is the area of one rectangle, length into breadth. And there are such many rectangles whose f of x is different and dx is anyway same, So that's what the integration is. ये जो symbol है S shape में या I का modified form, and that is actually the symbol of integration. और integration अपन कोई particular point से particular point तक भी कर सकता है, या एक normal integration भी कर सकता है. And that is why we say integration is of two types. One is the indefinite integration, indefinite integral, and the second one is definite integral. Definite integral. Indefinite integral or definite integral. So indefinite integral actually it is simply f of x dx. f of x को integrate करना है आपको, and the symbol is this. और एक कोई वेरिएबल जरूर होगी जिस वेरिएबल के हिसाब से आप इंटीग्रेट कर रहे हैं with respect to x, so you have to write it dx, and integration of a to b f of x dx would be like this. So there could be some limits, so that is a definite integral. So we'll be dealing with both these integrals, because in physics both of these are applicable in many derivations. So I'm going to write few formulas that you have to by heart for integration. So I have not gone into a detailed explanation of integration here, because in physics that detailed explanation is not necessary, but in mathematics it is necessary. So we are going to do first indefinite integrals. So for that, for both the indefinite and definite, the formulas are the same. Suppose you have a function x raised to n और उसको इंटीग्रेट करना है, तो फिर इंटीग्रेशन का सिंबल और उसका वेरिएबल. सिंबल इज दिस एंड द वेरिएबल इज dx. So the answer you will get it x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. And if if it is an indefinite integral, there is no limit, then you have to put a constant, and the constant could be 0 or it could be non-zero value, whatever. So that even depends on the question. Different type of questions may have different type of constants, and some questions do not have constant, means 0 is a constant. So anyway, when integration is concerned, then you have to do like plus c, that's all. And you don't have to find the constant here. Or integration sin x dx, so it is minus cos x. The reason is cos x का differentiation होता है minus sin x, so sin x का differentiation minus cos x. So that is just the vice versa. And we have another one, integration cos x dx. Sin x का cos x है, the cos x का integration direct sin x over. And we have another one, integration e की power x dx, or the answer is the same, e की power x. And all those formulas that you have learned in differentiation, उसको आप RHS में इंटीग्रेशन का साइन लगाएंगे तो आपको LHS मिल जाएगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल tan का जो है डिफरेंशिएशन सेक्स और x है, इसका मतलब सेक्स और x को इंटीग्रेट करने का करेगा तो आपको tan x मिलेगी. सो सिमिलर टू दैट, है ना, उसमें सारे फॉर्मूला एप्लीकेबल है. सो आई एम गोइंग टू राइट वन मोर ओनली, दैट इज 1 upon x dx, and for this integration will be ln x, where ln is the log ex. More clearly we can write log e. So these are the 5 important formulas, and if there is a constant coming up, the same way you can go for suppose there is a function f of x dx and multiply by a constant, then you can take the constant outside and only you differentiate f of x. Differentiate only the f of x. And if there is only a constant coming up, then the answer is, so everywhere you have to put here plus c after integration. So k into dx का integration x हो जाएगी. So these 7 formulas, these 7 basic formulas you have to remember when we are doing some questions in the integration. So let's do first indefinite integral. So for both definite and indefinite integral, the same rules are there, but in definite integral the plus c we will not be doing. When there is a limit, we will not we will not write any plus c there, plus constant. Okay, so indefinite integral question number 1. So there are even some rules to this, but there is no quotient rule, there is no chain rule for integration. Integration has addition rule, subtraction rule and multiplication rule. Addition subtraction is similar to differentiation, क्योंकि आप individually अलग से है ना integrate कर सकता है. So I'm doing a question for that, है ना. Let me write the rules first, that would be better. So integration of u plus v, so we can simply go for integration of u dx plus integration of v dx. Okay, and integration of u minus v, you can separately integrate both. And if integration of u multiplied by v, then u into second ka integration minus or first ka differentiation into second ka integration, and then whatever the answer is getting or uska bhi integration. So this rule is a long rule. We will not be using this rule, in physics, because that much, typical questions are there, not in the physics. So these two rules are enough for us. And the fourth rule is a quotient rule, which is not there, for integration. And the fifth rule is a chain rule, which is also not there for the integration, because of which integration becomes more difficult than differentiation. Antiderivative, to find the antiderivative becomes more difficult than differentiation, because differentiation, most of the rules are there, you simply apply the rules, you can easily differentiate things. But for all the functions, antiderivative does not exist, means you cannot integrate every function. There are functions that you can never integrate. Okay, because उसका antiderivative exist नहीं होता. So therefore there are so many methods, so many types of integration, more than 30 types of integrations. There are more than 30 methods of integrations are there, so that you can integrate a function. And the chain rule, the missing of the chain rule is the greatest problem in integration. Because in differentiation, if a function comes and there is another function which is inside of the first function, you can easily use a chain rule, and then you can integrate and integrate and integrate. If it is sine of cos x, you first integrate sine, then you integrate cos. But if it is sine of cos x, if differentiation is there, you can first differentiate sine and then you can differentiate cos. That is a chain rule. But in integration, there is no chain rule. For example, if there is integration of sine of cos x plus 3, so this one you cannot integrate by chain rule, because sine of cos, sine of cos, there are two different functions, which is compounded function, composite function. So differentiation is very simple. Sine, the differentiation is for sine is cos, then for cos is minus sine, then x plus 3 is 1. So this way you can differentiate. But for integration, you can't integrate, because there is no chain rule in integration. So that is the biggest problem in integration. But few people do same as differentiation, they will be in a great trouble, because the answer will be wrong. Okay, so let's do a few questions right now. Question number 1. Integrate x cube plus 5x square plus 7x minus 11. So you have to use the sign simple and dx for integration. So this is a function that you have to integrate, and the answer you can individually integrate because it is plus minus. So x cube का integration होगा x raised to n का होता है x raised to n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So we can write it here, x raised to 3 plus 1 upon 3 plus 1, x raised to 2 plus 1 upon 2 plus 1, and x raised to 1. So 1 plus 1 means x square upon 2 minus 11x. And by the seventh rule that we have learned, if there is a constant, then you have to write the constant and dx ka integration x only. So if you want to write it properly, you have to write it like this: integration of x cube dx or integration of 5x square dx, integration of 7x dx, minus integration of 11 dx. So this will be x4 upon 4, x cube upon 3, x square upon 2, 11x. So this is the integration of this function. Question number 2. So question number 2, I'm going for a similar function but definite integration. So this is an example of definite integral. An example of definite integral. So integrate x square plus minus 7 minus 5x plus 8. 1 2 3. सो इंटीग्रेशन कहाँ से कहाँ तक करना है, जैसे मैंने पहले ग्राफ में बताया आपको कि कहाँ से कहाँ तक उसका एरिया को ऐड करना है. एंड इंटीग्रेशन का मतलब है चीजों को इकट्ठा करना. सो कहाँ से कहाँ तक करना है, दैट थिंग मस्ट बी देयर. डी और डेरिवेटिव में क्या है कि पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट का वैल्यू है, तो उसमें एट दिस पॉइंट या एट पॉइंट x is equal to this and y is equal to this, but here you have to integrate from a point to another point. So the answer you are getting is this. But the thing is, you have to use the limits. 1 2 3. X cube upon 3 minus 5x square upon 2 or 8x. That is the integration x square, x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So 8x, you can even assume it x ka power 0. So 8x ki power 0 plus 1. So it means 1. So here you get, you can individually even do it. X cube upon 3, 1 to 3 minus 5 upon 2. So I'm taking the constant out. Or x square 1 to 3. Or x 1 to 3. So how to do this question? So 1 upon 3 x cube. So in place of x you have to write the value of 3. And upper limit minus lower limit. So upper limit is 3 cube minus 1 cube. Because it is x cube. So it must be the same format, x cube. But upper limit का cube minus lower limit का cube. Here it is x square. So upper limit का square minus lower limit का square. And here it is x. So upper limit minus lower limit. So you're getting 1 upon 3 into 3 is 9. This is 27 minus 1 26. 5 upon 23 is 9. 9 minus 1 8. Plus 8 into 2. So your answer is 26 upon 3 minus 20 plus 60. So 26, these two things you can calculate. 26 upon 3 minus 4. And your answer is 26 minus 12 upon 3 is equal to 14 upon 3. This is the answer to this question. 14 upon 3. So I can say that if it represents, some graph, some curve in the graph, then the area under the curve will be this with the x-axis, which it makes is from 1 to 2, yeah, 1 to 3, it is 1 to 3 is 14 upon 3. So this is how to integrate a function. How to integrate a function. So these are the simple type of simple method of integration in physics. But in some time some variable is coming which is a little bit complicated. So how to integrate? For example, if it is sin x, we know it is minus cos x. If it is cos x, we know plus sin x. But if it comes a little more complicated, like integration of sin ax plus b, how to do this question? How to do this integration? So for this, we have a method which is called method of substitution. Method of substitution. So there are many methods, and out of which one is method of substitution. So let ax plus b is equal to t. That's what we are going to put here. So this integration will become what? Sin t, but it is dx. So there is a problem. You have to remove this dx and it must be dt. So for that I'm going to do a differentiation here with respect to any variables. I should say differentiate a different variable also you can go for. So a into differentiation of x is 1, then dx by any variable. So I am writing dx because the by will be applicable to this and will be this and will be to this. So डिवाइड में जो भी आ रहा है उसको आप गायब कर सकते हैं. प्लस b का डिफरेंशिएशन 0 इज इक्वल टू dt t का 1 and dt by जो भी आप वेरिएबल से कर रहे हैं. So I should say like this: a into dx upon I should say dx upon dy जो भी है, yeah, here 0 into dx upon dy, and here d1 into dt upon dy. So you can go for that in that method, or otherwise you can go for finding dx by dt, or otherwise you can go for finding dt by dx. So I'm going to find dx by dt. So I'm going to differentiating with respect to t. So I'll be getting a into dx का differentiation 1 or dx by dt because it's a different variable, plus b is 0, and here with respect to t is 1. So we are getting here dx is equal to dt and dx is equal to dt by e. So this integration becomes integration of sin t dx. Instead of dx I can write dt by e. So 1 upon a into integration sin t dt. So this integration is very simple because now we have pure variables. So the integration of sin is cos. If there is no limits, then you can simply write plus c. So 1 upon a into what is cos t? Cos t is what is t? T is equal to ax plus b. So I can write cos ax plus b divided by a plus constant. And even you can by heart this formula cos ax plus b divided by b. But this is a method called substitution. And if there is a minus coming up over here, and it could be even b minus ax minus b, or b minus ax. So if it is b minus ax, then you have to exactly do this formula so that you can correctly answer the question. Otherwise, the answer will be wrong. Simply using the formula, maybe the answer may be wrong. So that's very important to understand here. So this is a method of substitution, and there may be more complicated questions in the method of substitution, but in physics, as far as physics is concerned, and this type of simple methods are sufficient for you. Okay. I can even tell you some complicated method of substitution even. Suppose tan x dx is there. So how to do this question? So integration sin x upon cos x dx. So suppose I am taking cos x to be x t, then minus sin x dx by dt is equal to 1. So minus sin x dx is equal to dt, or otherwise sin x dx is equal to minus dt. So I can write the same integration like this. Integration, instead of sin x dx, I will be writing minus dt, or instead of cos x, I will be writing. So here, here I have differentiate with respect to x. Oh, sorry, t. So t dt is coming in the denominator. So minus dt cos x, instead of cos x I can write t. So minus 1 upon t. So integration 1 upon t dt, minus you can take it out. So what is 1 upon t? Integration is ln t plus constant. Ln t plus constant, or is equal to minus ln, what is that? Cos x plus constant. And whatever coming in the logarithmic, even you can write, in the modular state, because you have to use only the magnitude here, positive values. So ln cos x, and this minus will go there and it will become 1 cos x ki power minus 1. So you can even write ln sec x. If you avoid the minus, it will become ln sec x, log sec x, and otherwise it is log cos x, where the base is e, log e cos x. So this is little more complicated type of substitution, और इससे भी ज़्यादा complicated type है, तो इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है, but for physics is concerned we can say that okay, it's a little bit complicated, but more than this complications can come, but that is in mathematics. So in the derivations, mostly the method of substitution is there, but that is like sin ax plus b, yeah, cos ax plus b, those kind of questions we have. Okay, so the product rule you don't need to learn for physics anyway, because that will become more complicated for you, and there are some rules like ILATE, and there are some order of integration, okay, which function you have first integrate, you take as a first function when you multiply. So all those things we are not going to learn right now, because that's not necessary in physics. So integration is a topic that you have to learn at least for 1 month. If you want to cover integration, that you must learn for 1 month. So every day 1 hour class, 1 month, then you will be able to finish integration very properly. But in physics we are learning very basic method of integration. Okay, so let me explain you a few more questions on the basis of this. So we're going to do a few examples right now of integration. and try to understand how to integrate properly. So the first question is integrate 0 to pi by 2 sin x plus cos x dx. So how to integrate this? First you integrate sin x, that will be cos x minus cos x, and then you integrate cos x, or otherwise you can write it 0 to pi by 2 sin x dx plus 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx. So sin x will become cos minus cos x, and cos x will become plus sin x. And here a few things that you have to understand is how to understand what is this angle pi by 2. What is pi by 2? For that you need a basic information of the system of measuring angle. One is sexagesimal system and another one is the circular system. And one system, the sexagesimal system, we already know. In an angle, in a quadrant there are 0 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree and 360 degree. So it is complete angle is in circular system, it is 2 pi radian. So 2 pi radian means here it is pi by 2, here is 2 pi by 2 means pi, 3 pi by 2, and here it is 2 pi. So the complete angle is 2 pi. So 2 pi radian is equal to 360 degree. So if you want to clarify or if you want to get it clear that how much is pi by 2, from this diagram you know what is pi by 2. Pi by 2 is 90. Then 2 pi by 2s are actually 180. But it could be pi by 3, it could be pi by 4, it could be pi by 6. Then how will you be able to understand? So for that, you have to multiply any angle that is given to you. Suppose if it is pi by 2, then multiply it by 180 upon pi. So any angle you multiply it by any angle which is in circular system means in radian. This is a radian measurement. So any angle which is already given in radian, you multiply it by 180 upon pi, then you will get it in degrees. So it will be like 90 degree. So what is cos? This minus you can take outside. So what is cos 90? Cos pi by 2 minus cos 0 plus sin pi by 2 minus sin 0. So this in trigonometry we have already learned this. So by using the trigonometrical method, you can understand that the cos pi by 2 is cos 90 is 0 and cos 0 is 1, plus sin pi by 2 is 1 and sin 0 is 0. So getting minus m into minus 1 plus 1 plus 1. The final answer is 2. So integration of 0 to pi by 2 sin x plus cos x dx is equal to 1 plus 1. The answer is 2. So individual integration you can go for doing it, and then integrate it. After integration simply put brackets and then you can put the limits. Simply put brackets on whatever the integral came and then put the limits and apply the limits. After applying the limits you will get the answer. So question number 2, as example of integration. Question number 2, let's go with again some trigonometrical integration, trigonometrical question. So integration of 0 to pi. Okay, integration of 0 to pi 3 sin x plus 5x square plus cos x. Suppose that is the question like this. So I'm going to integrate this question 0 to pi 3 sin x. So 3 sin x, or 0 to pi 5 cos x, or 0 to pi x square. And always you have to put dx in everything because that's a simple anyway. So 3 into sin x is minus cos x. Cos x is sin x. Or x square is x cube upon 3. So the final answer that you are getting is 3 into sin pi minus, cos pi minus 3 into cos pi minus cos 0 plus 5 into sin pi minus sin 0 plus 3 upon 3 into x cube. So pi ka cube minus 0 ka cube. So the answer you are getting is minus 3 into cos pi. What is the value of cos pi by trigonometry? Cos pi is minus 1, cos 0 is plus 1. And 5 into sin pi is 0 and sin 0 is also 0. Or plus pi cube. So the final answer to this question is minus 2 into minus 3 plus 6. So final answer to this question I am writing here. It is 6 plus 0 plus pi cube. So 6 plus pi cube. That is the final answer to this question. So in this, whatever I taught in trigonometry, those things also you have to keep in memory, otherwise you will not be able to answer what is the value of sin pi, what is the value of cos pi and all. So all the 4 quadrants are there, and in all the 4 quadrants you can easily find out the values, only the plus minus sign will differ. So that I have already taught you when I was teaching the first video, part 1 video about trigonometry. So let's go with few more questions which comes in physics class 12th. We have lot of questions that you have to use the substitution method. So if a question comes like square sine square x dx, how will you do this question? Yeah, integration cos square x dx. So the problem is here there is no chain rule. So you have to convert this into some other form which is not square, which is not multiplication. The product rule is there, sin x into sin x, and even if you use the product rule, still you are not going to get the answer of that. And the simple reason there is a repeated multiplication and multiplication of functions in the product rule. So product rule, I have already told you, we are not going to use it, and that's a long rule anyway. So there is a formula that we use in trigonometry: 1 plus cos 2x is equal to 2 cos square x, and 1 minus cos 2x is equal to sin square x. So instead of sin square x, I can write it here 1 minus cos 2x upon 2, or instead of cos square x, I can write 1 plus cos 2x upon 2. So instead of sin square x, I will be writing 1 minus cos 2x upon 2. So now it is not in square. So now I can do is 1 by 2 dx minus 1 by 2 cos 2x upon 2 dx, and again I can go for dx. Integration of dx is x minus integration of cos 2x. I can either go for the formula cos x plus b is equal to sin x plus b upon a, or otherwise I can go for the substitution method. Instead of 2x, I can put 2t and then go for substitution method, but I am not going, I am directly going by the formula. It is sin 2x upon 2 plus constant. So the final answer to this question you are getting x upon 2 minus sin 2x upon 4 plus constant. That will be the answer to this integration. So integration is not so easy as differentiation. But this type of questions, comes in class 12th class in some of the derivations in physics. So this is how you have to integrate it. So integration as a whole, the type of integration which comes in the derivation, that you have to learn. But when the numerical is concerned, the concept is concerned, the integration is not used so much. But the derivation is concerned, integration is used. So for a particular derivation, a particular type of maybe integration is there, and you will have to know how to integrate in that level at that time for that particular question. But integration as a whole, we can't learn right now anyway. As I told you, it will take too much time. Okay, so let's do few more questions. What about cos square x? The similar way, cos square x is 1 plus cos 2x, so everything will be the same, and here will be like plus will be here. So the calculations are anyway right here, x and cos 2x is sin 2x upon 2. Or x upon 2 minus sin 2x plus constant. Okay, that's all about integration here. Now, and next question. So suppose there is a function and there are word problems, applications of integration is there, and you have to find the area of a given function, area under the curve of a given function. Suppose a graph is given and the graph has a curve, and the equation of the curve is already given, and then you have to find the area under the curve, which may be giving you some displacement, which may be giving the value of velocity, the value of acceleration, whatever. But value of velocity and acceleration will be given by the slope, and value of displacement could be given by the area. So these things we will be learning in the following chapters, and there are applications on this. So you have to integrate the function given and find the value. And if the graph is given, then you can go for finding the slope, and you can go for finding the actual area of the thing over there. So basically integration is the antiderivative, opposite of derivation. Okay, so let me give you another example here. Integration of, okay, under root x plus 10 dx minus 1 to 1. So how to integrate this question? So we already know what is under root x ki power 1 by 2. So I'm going to integrate it separately because it is plus here, or integration 10 dx minus 1 to 1. So it is x raised to n is x ki power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 minus 1 to 1. 10 x minus 1 to 1. And we can go for the calculation of this question. Integration is already over anyway, but we can calculate this. So it will be x to the power 3 by 2 divided by 3 by 2, you can write 2 by 3 minus 1 to 1, and here also x 1 minus 1 to 1. So 2 by 3 into 1 ki power 3 by 2 minus 1 ki power 3 by 2. 1 minus 1. So we'll be getting 2 by 3. 1 का कोई भी पावर 1 होता है, लेकिन minus 1 की power 3 by 2. So there is a problem with this. Minus 1 ki power 3 by 2. So here you are getting an imaginary number. How imaginary number? 3 by 2 means 1.5. 3 by 2 means 1.5. 3 का आधा. So 1.5 का मतलब है -1 तो एक बार आएगा, फिर -1 का पावर 1/2 मतलब -1 जो है अंडर रूट में आएंगे. So that is a definitely a problem क्योंकि अंडर रूट में -1 आएगा. So अंडर रूट में -1 जो आ रहा है that is a complex number, 1 plus 1. So 2 by 3 into 1 plus under root -1 plus 20. So we write in mathematics like this: 2 by 3, 1 plus iota, which is a complex number which represents minus under root 1, under root -1 plus 20. So anyway, this type of questions will not be in physics. As an example, I told you, if it goes in a negative sign of the under root, which means that that is a complex number. So you should know the idea of a complex number. What is a complex number? A complex number is a number which carries an imaginary part, and that imaginary part is this minus under root 1, because that kind of part cannot exist actually. Why can't it exist? क्योंकि अंडर रूट उसी का निकलता है, उसको उसी से मल्टीप्लाई करने पे आना चाहिए. मतलब फॉर एग्जाम्पल +2 into +2 just +4, or -2 into -2 again +4, but there is no same number could be multiplied and the answer is negative. क्योंकि अगर आप पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव को मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो नेगेटिव आएगा, लेकिन पॉजिटिव को मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे और नेगेटिव को नेगेटिव से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, इट विल नेवर बिकम नेगेटिव, इट विल ऑलवेज बिकम पॉजिटिव. सो अंडर मतलब किसी का स्क्वायर नेगेटिव आना इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, फिर उसका अंडर रूट भी, सो नेगेटिव का अंडर रूट एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं होता, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं. या जो हो रहा है उसको हम बोल सकते हैं दैट्स एन इमेजिनरी नंबर, दैट्स नॉट ए रियल नंबर. सो वी हैव रियल नंबर्स, वी हैव इमेजिनरी नंबर्स, है ना. और इमेजिनरी नंबर जहां पे है उनको हम कॉम्प्लेक्स बोलते हैं, कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर बोलते हैं, सी से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. सो हियर इज ए कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर. ठीक है. So we don't have to go in detail with complex number, but in physics actually in higher classes, higher studies, the complex number is very important. And electric field, magnetic field, काफी चीजें complex numbers से ही denote किया जाता है, because most of things that we learn feel like imaginary and it behaves like imaginary even though it exists. In the same way, this number, even though it exists, it behaves like something which is imaginary. So that's all about the integration part, because in integration we are not going deep into the integration. Differentiation, okay, we have learned a lot of things, but in differentiation we are not going in deep, because you can't go in deep, because that is not the syllabus of physics. Okay, so let me give you a few questions as a homework, and these things, whatever I wrote on the board, you have to do in your corpus. So I'm giving you a few questions as a homework for you. So question number 1 is, and I will be giving you 2 algebraic questions and 1 trigonometry question. That is also definite integral. So 3x cube minus 5x square plus 12x minus 8 dx. 2 minus 2. Sorry, minus 2 to 2. That will be good for you. And integration 0 to 3. 1 to 3, 5x raised to 4 minus 8 x cube plus 11x square minus 7x plus 13 dx. The third question is integration sin square x plus cos square x plus 5 sin x dx from 0 to pi by 2. So these are 3 questions as a homework for you. So do it, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the online session coming in the next week. So next video we'll be doing with chapter 2, because here the mathematical tools are over, and for the next video we'll be doing something about chapter 2, units and measurements. And thereon actual physics of class 11 begins, because whatever we have learned, this will be coming in both class 11 and class 12, and throughout all the chapters that you will be in, somewhere it will be useful for us.